welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk a little bit about my emulsion lab and how emulsifiers and emulsions can play a huge role in food production and different items that we eat just around the house, and how you can do a fun little introduction lab that will help your students understand that. So the first thing that we want to start out with is I like to use all disposable items for this lab. This is one of the first labs that I do in my class after we talk about kitchen safety. And it's an easy one to do that helps prep your kids get ready for that lab environment. So when you do this, I line my tables with white tablecloth, which is really important for cleanup and quick and easy cleanup. And then it doesn't stain your tables, and it's just really nice to do that. Then I give the kids different items, such which you can find in the lab manual that I will link in the bottom of this video. So when we use these, it's just an easy way to clean up. So now I'm going to kind of demonstrate and walk you through the different parts of the lab. So during the lab, we go over different parts of the lab and different things that we can see that go on. So this lab is set up that we know that oil and vinegar do not traditionally mix. But the lab talks about how do we get them to mix and what does that look like. So we use an emulsifier, or something that allows us to be able to get them to mix. So your emulsifier is going to be your egg, but not the whole egg is the emulsifier. It's just going to actually be the egg yolk. But how do I get the egg yolk separated from this egg? So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do that. So you crack the egg. So you can see that I just have a crack all the way around. And what I do is you have to cut the egg yolk off of the egg. So I simply just kind of keep it in one side of the shell like this. You can see that the egg shell is actually cutting the white part of the egg off, and you just transfer it back and forth like this. The white part of the yolk should actually just slide right away from the yellow part, because the yellow is encased in a shell and it will break once you pop that shell, but you should be able to slide it back and forth. So see right there, it kind of broke a little bit, and now you'll see that it'll kind of break and not be as smooth. So see there, you can see that it's kind of broke out of its shell a little bit. So we don't want this. That is not part of our emulsifier. We're going to just want the white portion of it. So we have our two items, our yolk and our white separated. We're actually not going to use this one. It's not going to be part of our emulsification process. So we're just going to remove this away from our area. And we're going to be able to use our yolk as part of our emulsifier. So we know traditionally that vinegar and oil do not mix. But when we use an emulsifier, the emulsifier is going to be able to bind them together and to mix them. So examples are like mayonnaise. Peanut butter is also an example of this, that you have to use an emulsifier. But salad dressing, we can clearly just see and show kids that oil and vinegar do not mix. So as we move through the lab, students will add some oil to the mixture. They'll take their spoon. Once again, this is all disposable, so it's really easy to do. And we're going to start to mix it a bit by bit here. And you can see as we start to move through this that there is not separation, because the egg yolk is binding the two different mixtures and the two different liquids together. So as the kids move through the lab, they're going to add different amounts of oil and vinegar to their mixture. They're going to add it to their mixture in two different ways. They're going to do one without an emulsifier, so without the egg yolk, and they're going to do one with the egg yolk. And they're going to be able to make comparisons to which one is which, and how they look alike, how they look different, and how it actually applies to the real life food industry. So it's a really fun lab to show them kind of what's going on. It's also cheap for your budget. You're gonna need oil and vinegar throughout the semester normally to be able to complete the rest of your food science labs. And eggs are something that are $1.90 a dozen right now when I'm recording this video. So they are relatively cheap. You need one egg per group. I do not do one egg per person. They complete these in their food science groups. And then the plastic bowls and spoons, forks, and the little Dixie cups I also have on hand, just to be able to easily do and complete labs like this. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I will link the lesson to the lab below. And it's also something that you can kind of research a little bit on your own, but I do have a lesson that kind of walks you through that. If you liked this content, please like, subscribe, and follow along for more stuff.